Welcome back to Fantasy Football Today. Russell Wilson, he hasn't been a good fantasy quarterback the last 2 weeks. But things changed in Week 12. It's Thanksgiving week. It's time to let Russ cook. Taking on the Washington defense that's been bad. In terms of bad, how bad? Number one in terms of fantasy points allowed to opposing running back. Maybe he should run a little bit more. Opposing quarterbacks. Russell Wilson's in a good spot, but can he take advantage of it? That's the question. Can he show that the finger is okay? Can he connect with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? And can he do what every other quarterback has done against this Washington football team? For the most part, they give up an average of 27 fantasy points per game to the position. Pete, I know you've had some concerns about Russell Wilson. Is this a week that he gets back on track?
Yeah, it should be. They're not good on defense, and they don't have their pass rushers. The problem is his offensive line, Jamie, is so bad. The poor guy's getting brutalized again out there, and you pick a quarterback with 4 fingers. What is wrong with you?
Well, I mean, you said that Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there without his toe and be okay. Russ doesn't need a finger to be that good. Well, he probably does. Yeah. Dave, I know you have some concerns about Russell Wilson. What are your hesitations about starting him in this matchup?
Well, I'll tell you what, Jamie, when we were talking about Russell Wilson yesterday, I was definitely nervous after what I saw 2 games ago. And then I took the time just to do my due diligence. I watched his film from last week. He had half as many off-target throws as he had the week before. That's good. I thought he played pretty well. I agree with Pete, that offensive line is a problem. But since Chase Young's been hurt for Washington, their pass rush pressure rate has cratered. It's under 25%, which is a really good thing for Russell Wilson. So I'm not worried so much about Russell Wilson, the passer, and I'm not worried too much about Russell Wilson's protection. So what would be the problem here? I'm worried about Russell Wilson's volume. Even though that run game is a huge question mark for Seattle right now, how much is he going to need to throw against Washington? Maybe 28 attempts, maybe 32 attempts, somewhere in that range. Is it enough to get him to 25 plus fantasy points? I'm not sure of that. I don't mind him as a start this week. In fact, I'm going to start him in a couple of leagues myself. But when I weigh him against somebody like Matthew Stafford, and I'm nervous about Matthew Stafford this week, I can't quite put his name over Stafford's because I know that Stafford's ceiling is so much higher.
All right, we'll see how Russ does. Let's also keep in mind, he played the Packers, which is a fantastic defense. He played the Cardinals, which is a very good defense. That also factors into some of his struggles on top of the finger.
Oh, little pre-pick justification.
No, it's called analysis. Okay. I'll teach you about that one.
Okay. All right.
Here's my starts for week number 12. Pete, what did you see from Cam Newton? Enough to have faith in him taking on this Dolphins defense?
Yes, that Dolphins defense isn't very good, and I thought he did a good job at times. The offensive line, again, another group that concerns me. But yes, I have faith in him.
Freddie Kitchens going to be good for Saquon Barkley?
Freddie Kitchens good for anybody?
Wilson Baker is a rookie.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say yes. He'll run. Again, it's another game. What do we always say when you come back from injury? It's a game removed. So yes, I'll answer that.
All right, both running backs I think will be successful in that matchup. All right, let's take a look at your starts, Dave, for this coming week. Tell me about the 2 Broncos. Why you have faith in Cortland Sutton?
Because of the matchup against the Chargers and their secondary is a little beat up right now. Asante Samuel Jr. on the concussion list. If he's out, that means that they're starting another backup corner. And we've seen it before from this Chargers team that when they're going with backup cornerbacks, they don't do so well. And I wonder if the Broncos, they're going to be able to run just fine, but they're going to have to be balanced. I wonder if now that they gave contracts to Patrick and Sutton, they start trying to justify it a little bit more, let those guys make plays down the sideline.